Hi, everybody in podcast land and also on YouTube. I'm James.
I'm David.
I'm Anthony.
Yeah, that's right. Anthony's here because Riley's on vacation and Anthony is boss. And today on the Carpal Critics Movie Podcast, we are discussing the newest Marvel movie, Black Widow.
Spoiler alert!
You're all sing-songy today.
I'm sing-songy all the time.
Okay, well, sing-song me your rating out of 10 for this movie. And if you're on our convoy of listeners who watch the movies ahead of time, next week we're going to be doing Loki, so you should start ahead of time because it's 6 episodes. 6 hours. Yep. I have 3 kids. I can't wait to fit this in my schedule somehow. Goodbye, sleep. But yeah, Loki is pretty interesting. I can't wait to cover it.
Yeah.
But today, it's a different Marvel movie, Black Widow. David, what's your rating out of 10?
When it's contained as a spy thriller, elevated by a couple of exceptionally charismatic performances, it soars. But as soon as it glides into quasi-superhero CG fucking enhanced territory, it's just another middle-of-the-road Marvel movie. 6.8 out of 10.
Word?
It's good. First half is way better than the second half when it becomes like bigger than life, all CG enhanced action scenes. I just kind of like don't care the second half, but the first half and the family dynamic, good stuff.
Nice. Anthony, what do you think?
Yeah, I would kind of agree. I feel like it's a fun, more realistic movie than most of the other MCU movies. Mostly because the main character has no superpowers. It's just a trained assassin / super spy. I'm not familiar with the Black Widow from the comics though. And people who are say that it, kind of fell short in that regard because there was less of the espionage angle. But yeah, like the first half of the movie was amazing. Second half, yeah, there was a lot of CG explosion crap. I originally had 8 out of 10. I'm going to say 7.5 just because I really agree with what you said.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to call this the Rogue One of Marvel movies. In a way, it's just it's an in-betweener, right? It like takes place kind of during another movie. But Black Widow is a worthy addition to the MCU that managed to introduce new characters that I can't wait to see more of, while making existing movies in the canon more enjoyable. And most importantly, teaching us that blood is thicker than pheromones. Didn't really care about the time everything was exploding in the sky at the end, but whatever. I'm giving it a 7 out of 10.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah, it's funny that Disney's kind of carving out this niche for spy thrillers, like Winter Soldier, or like the original Winter Soldier, is like one of the most beloved MCU movies, and they kind of seem to be moving that direction. Like Falcon and the Winter Soldier, the show, is kind of more spy capery, and then this, and I wonder if they're trying to like build out kind of like subsections within the MCU that are like whole genres, but like many movies within a genre. Because I thought they were going to do like one-off weird experiments, but now it's feeling like they're building spy thriller steam.
Well, there's more MCU movies than genres, so yeah, it has to happen that way.
Yeah, fair.
And we'll talk more about that right after this message from our sponsor, Vessy Footwear. Famous for making shoes that are light, comfortable, and most importantly, waterproof, Vessy shoes are made from a dual climate knit material. They're easy to pack, and they're 100% vegan. I love mine because they're super easy to slip on and off, and I haven't had laces in like 6 years, and I don't have to worry about what the weather's like outside. They just work. So head to Vessy.com/carpalcritics and get 25 bucks off right now. That is it. Also, spoiler alert for this whole movie.
Oh, yeah. We said that, but we'll say it again.
We'll do it again. It's all spoilery. Now, normally this is the part of the show where we read a detailed synopsis of what happens in the movie, but that's Riley's job, and he's not here, and we forgot to do it. So here is a way less comprehensive, bulletproof version of what happens in this movie. The movie opens with a flashback scene where the family escapes with a mysterious floppy disk. Then we cut to the future where Natasha is hiding in Norway because the Civil War movie is happening, and she's not with the Avengers at the time. Then we cut to Morocco where Yelena, Natasha's sister, is a Black Widow spy and hit in the face with some gas, which makes her realize she was under mind control. And now her mission is to get this gas to all the other widows so they are no longer under mind control. Then we cut back to Natasha in Norway where she's attacked by Taskmaster because she's in possession of the gas which her sister mailed her. Realizing that she has this care package from her sister, we cut to Budapest where Yelena and Natasha meet in the old Budapest safe house. Then they go to break out their dad from prison. Then they go to break out their mom from the farm she lives on. All in the pursuit of finding the Red Room, the place where all the widows are trained by a really bad, evil, vile Russian guy named Dreykov. They find the Red Room. It's floating in the sky. They destroy it. They kill Dreykov. And then they unleash all the other widows from mind control using a big bomb of gas.
Never to be heard of ever again, even though they would have been very useful in Endgame.
They're just people, though. They're not even super.
Yeah, but I mean, like, Black Widow was useful.
Yeah. They're exceptional people. All right, that's basically what happens.
That's always the problem with these movies that are like retroactively inserting themselves into a franchise. Because like I like it and I like how it fits in, but then it asks all these questions like her dad is a superhero. Like, did he not care? Like, did he not care about the end of the world, the end of the universe? Why wasn't he there in Endgame? Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Maybe he's back in jail.
Well, he didn't have a visa to come to the States.
Yeah, fair.
Endgame is American.
That's true. Yeah, Thanos is only coming after the U.S.
Okay, well, hopefully that synopsis wasn't too confusing. We're going to get into more detail on all these scenes starting now. So why don't we start with the flashback scene at the beginning?
Yes.
What did you guys think of that?
That was easily, I think, probably the strongest opening, I think, in recent memory. It really didn't set it up as a superhero movie. It set it up as a spy movie. Like, there was a lot of espionage elements to it because literally the father is acting as a spy.
Yeah.
Even though he's a super soldier who's being used as a spy for some reason. So there was a surprising amount of shooting and a surprising amount of people actually getting hit by bullets for a Marvel movie, which to me was kind of weird. And it kind of set the tone for the rest of the movie being like, oh, there's going to be a body count probably.
Yeah.
And I mean, spoilers, there kind of is.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I thought it was a pretty strong opening. I don't remember all of the details now because I saw the movie like literally a week ago on the 8th, which I think is a day before it was supposed to launch, and I'm not sure how. Cineplex, thank you. But
yeah, thank you, Cineplex.
Yeah, I think that they posed a lot of questions that in that intro that were eventually answered. Some of them answered so long later that I had notes being written that were like, why that? And then
they answered.
And they eventually did answer, and they're actually really compact and succinct in how they did that. Even things, like you're not grounded to anything at the beginning at all. Like I wouldn't have even known I was looking at young Nat.
Same.
That's like
I think that was a purposeful choice too, because I mean she's known to dye her hair, but having her be really androgynous and have blue hair made it be like, is this Nat?
You know who that actor is? That kid is Mila Jovovich's daughter.
Oh my god, for sure. I said that. I'm like, she would be a great Mila Jovovich younger person.
You wrote that down?
I wrote that down. That's so funny.
Yeah, totally androgynous. I wouldn't have known except for the subtitles that was her because she's cycling through the neighborhood and someone goes, "Hey, Nat."
Yeah.
And if I didn't know that,
I was like, I didn't hear it.
I didn't hear it even though the subtitles were on. I watched it twice. But I would have thought maybe Yelena was. Nah, I had no idea.
Yeah, there's some really good stuff in that sequence. Like I think the plane sequence is really good. It's really tense, and I like how they like give you a superhero moment of Alexei just like flipping the tank out of the way to get the plane go out, and you're like, yeah, that's smart. That's a smart use of his.
It's
powers.
another question though.
Yeah,
you're like,
yeah,
whoa,
was that really light, or was it actually that he's a super super powered? Right?
Yeah, and I like that whole sequence when they're on the runway, and then the mom gets shot, and like this tense. I felt the tension in the same way that I feel like a good spy movie.
Totally compelling. Yeah. And man, it was intense because like these little girls are in this plane. There's blood on Yelena's face, man. She's sick. So there's like blood spattered across her face. Like it's insane.
And I think what worked too is that that sequence, the whole like flashback, they actually took their time with it. I think I could have seen them compress it into a shorter amount. But because it's like 15 minutes, you kind of get, I found I was grounded in the regular life, and then they were slowly pulling it apart as like the spy levels were unveiled. Like when the dad comes home and you're like, whoa. But before that, you're just like, oh, it's a family. Like they seem really normal. And you have time to connect with those people, connecting to their environment. And so when the spy stuff starts happening, it really feels like a big escalation and in a really exciting way.
And because you don't know what's happening yet, like I was saying, you're not anchored to anything yet. Yep. When they say things like, hey, we're going on this big adventure, and Yelena's like, yay. But then Nat's like, ah. Yeah. You're like, oh, maybe this kid doesn't want to move from her hometown and she has friends. Like, you don't know what the hell. Yeah. Like, what is she sad about?
Yeah.
Yeah, like, for one, I didn't know which one was going to be Nat. Like, I didn't know if this was going to be like it's going to be a younger sister or an older sister kind of thing.
Yeah.
But the dad, specifically, like, the way he came home, the way he kind of acted, it seemed, well, I mean, obviously it was super serious at the time.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, the difference between how the mom was acting and how the dad was acting. I mean, obviously we know who they are now, but it seemed super normal at first, and then it's like, oh, well, we need to go. Yep. Where are you going? What are you doing? What's going on? Why are you leaving?
Yep.
And the chase sequence at the runway, I found was really kind of strange because after I knew who the dad was, the fact that he didn't use superpowers at all was kind of strange to me. But at the same time, it kind of makes sense if he's trying to prevent people from knowing who he is.
Oh, true.
Right?
Yeah, because that could be an international kerfuffle if the Red Guardian is in the States burning down facilities.
Oh, I guess that's true. even after it's revealed that, you know, I burned down the place, I'm escaping, they still don't want it to know that it's Red Guardian. But do you think it was a demonstration of his superpowers, him just using the rifle? Because the first shot he took was like, that was a good shot. He just lifts the rifle and takes out the driver and the car crashes.
I mean, like being able to stay on the plane while he's shooting, even though it's going pretty fast. I think that's like, you accept it because you're like, he kind of probably has superpowers or something. Like, but it's a bit of a demonstration.
Then one of the trucks gets really close and he's like kicking the driver.
Yeah.
And that he didn't seem very super during that.
No. So it was kind of like, does he have superpowers? Was that thing that he just flipped over like just really light for some reason? I didn't notice that it was a tank.
Yeah.
I thought it was just like a trailer or something.
Fair.
It looks like a trailer or a tank, but it's like,
so it just looked like he was just like, and whoop.
Yeah,
something like that.
I gotta say, man, the house that they live in, I love it. I love that design where it's like the decline, like the stage house,
sunken living room.
The sunken living room. I think it's such a cool design. I'm like, I want to live there.
It must be on a hill.
Must be on a hill.
I like how the father comes home and in secret says, like, you know, we're leaving. No. But then his presentation to the kids is very like curated, you know, like, oh, don't worry, honey, I got your shoes in the car. I got a granola bar for you.
Yeah.
He's
Fruit roll up.
and this is all in service of what happens later, because the question later is like, was our family fake or was our family real? And we know as the audience, like, because what they have made us feel during that scene is we're on the side of that was real.
Yeah.
That was real. They really were sisters. They played together. Dad really did care about them with things like that. Like, because he could have just been like, shut up, kid. We're going in the car now. You're going to go and be groomed by this awful general guy who's going to make you a super soldier. But instead, no, even in that time of crisis, the parents were good parents.
Well, that kind of brings us to like what I think is the strength of the movie, which is the characters. I think that they're exceptionally good, especially Alexei and Yelena. I think like Florence Pugh, man, she can act. She brings so much charisma to everything she does.
She's amazing.
She's incredible.
I loved her.
Yeah. And she's funny, but when she like breaks down, like at the dinner scene when everyone's like Natasha's trying to pull a family apart, be like, we weren't a family, we weren't this, and like she breaks down, she's like, it was so real to me because like that's the only good memories I have. Those are my first memories, and like that was a family to me. That's all I've ever known. I was really feeling
she can bring it, man, because for a lot of, I'm not going to say a lot of, but some of the actors in the MCU, you know, you're here because you can do flips and you know, you're a good action star, and there's only a few moments that are like tense, you know, monologues or emotional, and they might be stretching themselves to hit those highs. But Florence Pugh, it's like have you seen Midsommar? Like, it's just dread and sadness the whole time. Like, that's
Little Women. Like, she just is so good. The movie does a really good job too setting up their dynamic between Natasha and her. Like, almost every encounter they have, there's a power play dynamic where Natasha has the power over her. Like when they first see each other in in Budapest. And they point their guns at each other. Natasha has her on the back foot. Like, she's constantly backing up. And it's like such a good little demonstration of like, Natasha is the big sister and she's always in control. And they do that a couple other times. I can't remember.
Yeah, when she slams her on the counter and she's like, you know, stay down.
Yeah, exactly. And it's...
And then it's a characterization of Yelena to be like, or I just smash a plate on your head.
Yeah.
Because I have the same training as you.
I really like that hand-to-hand fight. It's like a really fun... It had a lot of like Bourne energy where they're just like looking around, grabbing stuff and fighting like impromptu. And I fucking I bought it, man. When she grabs the curtain, wraps it around, or like I guess it's later when the one person grabs the knife and she grabs the stapler. I guess I know. Was
it a stapler? What the hell was that? It was like a hole punch or something.
Yeah, and I just love how like improvised it is, and like it goes. I think like that's kind of their superheroes. Like they're really quick and really fast, and I really like that. Same with Taskmaster when they're like on the bridge and they're fighting, and they get put like she grapples him, and it's like a sick move. But like mid swing, he like she cuts herself off, and I just like how quick
and resourceful
every single person fighting in this movie.
The fights, I feel like the fights at the beginning were better. Everything was better at the beginning.
Yeah.
That fight reminded me of Kill Bill 2, where Beatrix fights Ellie Driver in the trailer.
Yeah,
it's the same thing where it's like just smashing you into a wall and hitting you with a toilet or stuff. Like just super. Gritty.
Yeah.
That was awesome. And that fight on the bridge with Taskmaster when Taskmaster like kicks her leg a little bit, like she like kicks her in the knee to trip her, like just awesome. Just felt real. But then later on when they're like fighting while skydiving and stuff, it's just like CG fest.
Yeah, I don't care.
Not as good.
I think for me the point that the action turned is the prison break. I was so into the first half of the prison break.
Yes.
But once the helicopter gets starting to be shot, and there's a specific moment, it's when the 50 cal is shooting through the helicopter and you see it like burst through the cabin, And Florence Pugh casually gets up, walks exactly through where the bullets just went, picks up a gun and starts like launching the grenades. And I'm like, oh, we're into this now. Like there's no stakes to these bullets anymore. And like we're into like they're basically overpowered and like they are in no danger.
Yeah.
It was not pleased.
That's so funny that I wrote down like, I'm not digging this prison break. It all hit us at the same time.
Yeah, basically at that exact moment, she turned from, oh, I've got good training and I can react to whatever I need to react to, oh, this is happening now.
Yeah.
Let me go get my rocket launcher.
Totally. And like the stakes are all set up well. Like I think like when Alexei opens the Red Guardian doll and there's the earpiece, I'm like, oh yeah, I like this. This is like Mission Impossible 4. Like he's got to break out of prison. Okay. But then once the blizzard comes in and you're like, okay, we're escalating.
The avalanche?
Oh, the avalanche. And the shot where they swing around on the helicopter and Natasha's hanging off the rope and then she grabs him through the avalanche. It not only is it really bad CG, it was like looks really bad. It's just like stupid. And
I just didn't like the fact that like you are surrounded. There's dozens of guards. They're all shooting at your helicopter, which you've already set up as being like a shitty old Soviet era helicopter. But that's fine. You can just take all these bullets.
There's it's one of those bad action scenes where like the danger all happens up front and then they do like one thing to dispose of it. And then that like the danger that was really real, it just doesn't exist anymore. And it's such a bummer.
That prison break could have been so much better if they set it all up as like a sneak out kind of thing. And they're like guiding him through and there's stakes to it. Like he's about to get caught by a guard and like they like shoot him with a sniper rifle or something. And it's like, no, they didn't do that. They made it so that as soon as he like started following their instructions, the alarm was pulled.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, the Red Guardian's escaping. And it's like, oh, okay, well now we're in an action sequence. Yeah. And that's our life now.
I had watched Mission Impossible 4 like last week, and it has a very similar prison break scene out of a Russian prison, and Ethan Hunt has to escape, but it's like his crew is breaking him out, but they can't communicate. He doesn't have an earpiece. But it's such a better use of like the dynamics between the characters where like he wants to get out, but he realizes there's a guy he needs as an informant. So he has to go through the prison riot that they created. And he's like, step by step, having to dismantle the guards. And it's like starts at 0 and then it gets worse and worse and worse. And it just feels so like human and grounded in a real prison fight. Whereas this, like, there is no prison element to it. It's just guards guarding like a box. Like there's no prison.
I think in that one, he's also against two sides, right? The guards want him and the prisoners.
Yeah, exactly.
I remember that.
So fun. It's so, and like, they have a good excuse to play like some 50s like crooner song, and it really adds to the atmosphere and stuff. Like it just all is building towards one thing. Whereas this, it's like, okay, we want to do a prison escape scene, but halfway through the prison escape scene, like the prison isn't really part of it anymore. It's just like a box with guards.
Yeah, they should have sent in one of the ladies as like undercover. Yeah. And we get to see her acting all Russian, and then they could have had a more gradual revealing to Alexei that that's his daughter.
Yep,
and he can. At first he just thinks he's getting broken up by some random spy, but then he kind of figures it out, and then that could have been kind of
also they could have set up their fucking face masks. When they reveal the face masks at the end, I had no idea. I think they needed to set it up like maybe in this sequence, like put Natasha or Yelena in a face mask, and we're like, oh, that's part of this universe,
right? Because that's the kind of thing. If you only watch this movie, it's a Deus Ex Machina, where it's like, surprise, these amazing advanced face masks exist in this world. Yeah. You're like, okay. But if you watch the whole MCU, then I guess you've seen it before, so it's kind of earned. But you can't do that.
They're in the background somewhere, like in the one shot where she goes to put her gun down.
In the mom's locker room, she has these two mannequin heads.
You see it in the background, but like not clearly. And then in the flashback after, when they're explaining what happened, they show it closely. And I wonder if that flashback sequence was actually shown before, but they tried to make it a twist later, but maybe not. I don't know.
I take an issue with that because they do that a couple times where you're at the climax where Nat is in the red room. She's with Dreykov, like facing off against the arch nemesis, and things happen like, you can't hurt me because of pheromones.
Oh my God.
And then it's like, wait, that's a thing? Let me show you a flashback that establishes this thing. What? And then they're like, oh, you can sever your nerve. That's a thing? Let me show a flashback where we establish that. Like, no, you can't do that, retroactively. You have to set that up before. What the fuck?
Yeah.
The same thing with the mask.
It also felt like the whole thing of like faking out Dreykov to get Natasha there. It felt like it was unnecessary. Like they could have, I think, designed a more interesting plan that was maybe more like clever to get her there in the first place. So like the switch, I guess it's for the audience's sake, because then you're like, oh, the mom's betraying them. Oh no, she's not. They're a family. But I just felt it all felt artificial and like audience based instead of like character or story based.
Yeah, we could have got more a better conflict between Dreykov and Black Widow, because like the fact that they had that, oh, this nerve thing, this pheromones is all surprise, that is a disservice to the character and the conflict that we could have got.
Yeah.
We could have had those flashbacks throughout the movie.
Yeah.
Similar to like Stryker and Wolverine in X-Men 2.
Yeah.
That is a fucked up relationship.
Yeah.
You know, when every time they interact, Wolverine has these flashbacks where he remembers running down this tunnel naked and people shooting at him and stuff. And then like when he's in that fugue state, having just got adamantium put on him. And then whenever he confronts him, Stryker just like uses that leverage of that horrid past on him. Like, what are you? I made you. You're an animal.
Yeah.
And that hurts Wolverine, right? And it hurts him in a way that's not physical, and he's not used to being hurt in any way. Yeah. And that's awesome. So if we had that with Natasha, where, you know, we were given this amazing dark montage at the beginning of this movie that was unlike any tone we've seen in the MCU. Totally. We're like, whoa, these girls are getting trafficked. They're in a crate. This one doesn't make it through the training, and we see these white gloves pull a sheet over her face. Like, this is insane.
Yeah.
That was a movie I wanted to see.
Same.
And then suddenly I'm down for the scenes that are like a family drama, but by the end, we are so far from that dark movie. If we had kept on that tone, and we had scenes with young Natasha getting groomed by this evil man, and instead of it being some kind of pheromone bullshit, which, by the way, why didn't she just back up 20 feet and shoot him?
Exactly.
Yeah, like, well, okay.
Or like plug her nose.
It should have just been psychological that he put in her, and she wants to kill him, but she can't.
Yeah.
Yeah, either like he conditioned her as a kid to not do it, and she just doesn't remember because, you know, the whole mind control thing, or like, oh, I'm the only one who knows who your mother was. Or is, or where your mother is.
Yeah, so like psychological attack on her.
Yeah, like,
I am your father.
Instead of being like, oh, who was your mother? Oh, nobody knows.
Yeah,
it's like are unknown, and it's like, okay, cool. You just gave up the one piece of leverage you actually had.
Yeah, that kind of hurts, but like, it's no more leverage.
Well,
there,
and I think he's such a boring villain. Like, he's such a generic like Russian boss, like army boss kind of guy. Like they never really like give him depth, and I think that's such a bummer. Like,
they make him detestable.
They do well that
they do a good job of that.
Yeah,
a lot of people I've seen online were saying like he's the most vile person that like in the whole MCU or maybe ever. Like he participates in this awful program, and people even were. I saw people say like I wouldn't be surprised if there was sexual abuse involved in this. Like
for sure, yeah.
They're not going to show. It's not in the movie at all, but that's how vile people thought he was. But still, I think just the whole setup that. Is he still alive? Does the Red Room exist? They kind of had to forego any of that stuff. It's just by nature of how they structured the movie.
I think in general, the entire villain side of the movie is kind of lame because Taskmaster sucks. Like, Taskmaster as a character, it like there's interesting pieces, like having her be a victim of Natasha's past. That's cool, but like Taskmaster just isn't in the movie for like 3/4 of it, and like exists not like,
she's an enforcer.
She's an enforcer, and like that turnaround at the end feels so unearned.
Well, there's aspects of it I like. So Taskmaster, I keep doing that. Taskmaster is very different in the comics. Mm-hmm. It's male, and the person, and this guy Tony is his name, and he has a photographic memory.
Yeah,
so then
born that way,
and then can mimic you, and it's really hard to fight him because he fights like you fight.
Yeah.
And we see a bit of that in this movie. In the first fight on the bridge, you see Taskmaster do like the leg around the neck thing that she's always doing, and that was cool. But I felt like that kind of faded throughout the movie.
I didn't know that until I read the wiki after. I was like, oh, that's what Taskmaster does, I guess.
Well, in the first shot of Taskmaster is she's watching Captain America fight with Hawkeye. And so, okay, she's learning how to fight like them. And then on the bridge, she's using a shield. So it's like, okay, this is...
Sure.
I see what's going on here. But by the end, it just felt like, this is just a big bad and is good at fighting. And the mimicry kind of part wore off. But what I like about the changes they made from the canon is, I don't think it's just diversity bullshit. Like, now it's a woman and they made it Dreykov's daughter. It actually has so much unity with the story because a lot of the themes in the movie are about bodily autonomy. Yeah. And like, do you have control? Is there free will? Do you have control over yourself? And this character has no control over herself at all. She's run by this chip. She doesn't even have enough autonomy to have her own fighting style. Yeah. She just mimics other people. And then Natasha, by freeing that villain and making up for her own mistake in the past, she's like freeing herself. Yeah. And that is sick.
I was so confused. Was she dead at the end, or was she just like dazed because the control was lost? Like it was.
Well, they said that they were going to take her as well. So like, I don't think she was dead. I think I think the control was supposed to have been mind control. I think the chip was just like to keep her body functions running or something because like the gas worked on her.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, shouldn't have if it was just a chip, right?
Yeah.
But, I mean, you never know. I don't know if they actually explained it.
I felt like the chip also gave her super abilities, like the ability to...
And probably that's how they
fight as
explained
well
the mimicry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's cool. I don't like the design of the character.
You mean like the production design?
Yeah, it felt like kind of just like generic, like advanced soldier. Like that's a skin in Call of Duty or something. It's like, okay.
Crisis suit.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's like slightly more advanced than the henchman that you see, but like, no, I don't know. It just didn't feel like special.
It's a cool suit. It's basically like Snake Eyes kind of like G.I. Joe suit.
Yeah, totally.
It was badass when she puts her sword on her back and it like goes and like clips in there. That was cool. I understand the need for like a helmet. So you have the character reveal later. Meh.
And it's hard because like the Taskmaster in the comics has like a skull face, and that probably just wouldn't translate well to real life, like having a skull mask.
This helmet was vaguely scullular.
Yeah, vaguely. Scullular. Yeah. It's all right.
That was okay.
I want to talk about Alexei though. The reintroduction of him as the prisoner is like one of my favorite character moments ever. I just enjoy the fuck out of David Harbour as Alexei and like how different he is from the beginning and the middle, but you believe it. You're like, this guy is the same person. He's been through some shit. And he's so fun. Like when he's like breaking people's arms, arm wrestling them and like getting out of prison, he's so excited to talk to them. And that whole helicopter sequence when he's like, oh, I love you guys so much. And they're like, fuck you, man. Fuck you so much. I just really enjoy that dynamic. When he's like, when Florence Pugh, the funniest part of the whole movie to me is when Florence Pugh's like, we're not going to make it to Moscow, or we don't have enough fuel. And he's like, we'll make it. And she's like, okay. And then the next shot is just the helicopter fucking smashing on the ground.
Just fucking, your reality field is so stupid. Like, shut up. It's not how the world works anymore, bro.
Yeah. And when it's also like, it's a good kind of character hint at how deeply he's just so in denial about everything. And I mean, like, it's a comedic moment, but I think it works to serve his deeper arc, which is like realizing like how fucked up he is.
I think it touches on the whole, was our family real or not?
Yeah.
You know, like
totally.
You can, just because you say it's a certain way doesn't mean it is a certain way.
Yeah.
And in reality, you know, you were just grooming us to be super soldiers.
Totally. When they kind of like, they only dip their toes into that theme, in my opinion. Like they don't go deep into like the trauma that they shared. And like, it doesn't feel like they've really reckoned with their past. It feels like a Disney resolution where it's like, we were family. I've got two families now, instead of like, yo, you guys are like so fucked. You have so much deep programming that you haven't unlearned. Like, you're all very unwell. You need to figure that out before you can be like, we're a family.
Well, you got to save it for the Yelena sequel.
Fair. I can't wait.
She'll
have a TV show.
I want a Yelena sequel. That like, she was hands down probably the best character in that movie.
100%.
I don't know if I want it because she was awesome and hands down the best. I totally agree. But I don't know if I want that for Florence Pugh's career. I want to see her do other things. And on the one hand, I'm kind of thinking, well, they can't afford to just make that her career. But if they can do it with Scarlett Johansson, they can do it with anybody. They can't afford it.
I think I think she'll keep doing other things. I think she's so in demand and so well, like, she's just so talented and people recognize that. There is the Hawkeye TV show. Who cares? Fuck Hawkeye. But now that she'll be the villain in it, that's cool. Or like, what do you guys think of that post-credit scene? I thought it was such a bummer, and I thought I was gonna be super excited. Like Julia Louis-Dreyfus is like one of the best fucking comedians ever, and Florence Pugh is one of my favorite people. And so like the fact that they're bringing them together, setting her up as like, this is your next mission, I was like, this is cool.
So
but
let's just unpack the scene a bit. We get the final scenes of the movie is going into Infinity War. So we've got a blonde Nat who is alive, and then the credits roll, and then the post-credit scene, she's dead from the events of Endgame. She dies in Endgame. And then, so we've got Yelena at her tombstone, and then this other figure, a character I don't think we've ever met before.
She's in Falcon and the Winter Soldier for a second, yeah.
And who is she?
She runs some organization. Like
she's like Nick Fury.
Some sub-shield. I don't know 100%, but as far as I understand, it's like, some lesser organization.
And she's recruiting Yelena to do some actions against S.H.I.E.L.D.
Hawkeye.
Against Hawkeye specifically.
Yeah, because I found that setup kind of lame in the sense that like, you already know what's going to happen. Like, you know that they're going to fight, and then at one point he'll be like, they'll have a breakthrough where she understands that he didn't want to kill her.
Right. That their values are aligned.
And so this whole series will be like just a fucking waste of my time. It's like, yeah, actually, you guys like love Black Widow a lot, and you guys didn't want to see her die. Like, why the fuck are you fighting?
You're actually touching on something interesting. It's the same deal with Loki, right? It's like, okay, you got these characters, and it's interesting for them to be antagonists or villains, and then still like them a lot, and then they have these competing interests, but they're always gonna converge in an outcome that's happy for everybody.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way you could be like, I love Hawkeye and I love Yelena. And in this episode, Yelena kills Hawkeye.
Oh,
that's just not going to happen.
That would be so
That's
sick,
like the Game of Thrones version
I want
of it.
that. I feel by the end of this movie, I'm sick of like Marvel movies not killing characters. Like, I felt like they could have killed some characters in this one. Like, I thought the mom was going to die. Like, I thought she was kind of underdeveloped, and I thought that the whole reason was that she was going to have to sacrifice herself.
Yeah.
Or Alexei, maybe. But when no one dies in these movies, I get so frustrated.
And they also, like, they kill so many people throughout the film.
Yeah.
Or it's at least implied. Like, yeah, that soldier's dead, for sure.
Yeah.
But then when you get to the big bad, it's always some kind of indirect action of the hero that kills them.
Yeah.
Like, especially with a guy who's as detestable as Draco, just let her shoot him in the fucking head.
I like that moment when Florence Pugh and like Black Widow's running towards the helicopter, and she's on top, and she's like, I got to do this. Boom, and she gets launched. I like that moment, and I like big bads dying in helicopter explosions. Like, there's something about that just like tickles my fancy.
Yeah, it makes you want to like do a free willy jump.
Yeah, exactly.
See you later.
But yeah, it was just like, I don't know. It was just a weird whole sequence, and like the whole escape from the thing was just not pleasant. I was just like, I don't care. Like the whole space station, I don't care. I just don't care about a fucking stupid space station.
It just got too big.
Yeah.
And like nobody knew where that red room was. Like,
so big.
a giant like jet powered fortress
Yeah.
that clearly would have shown up on anybody's radar.
Yeah. No, it's
Like-
hiding in the clouds. Clouds block radar.
Clouds block radar.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, Google knows where it is.
Google. It's actually run by Google.
Okay, I have a nitpick. I have a couple nitpicks.
Yeah, get it.
The accents in this movie
Very
pissed me off.
inconsistent. Very inconsistent.
Well,
Yeah.
I just don't understand the logic. I understand the perspective of we want the audience to think these characters are Russian.
Mhm.
So they talk like this, even though they can speak English.
Yeah.
And it's like,
and they're super spies that are trained to not have accents so they can blend in
well,
anywhere.
that's the thing. At the beginning in Ohio, it's like, hey, kids, how are you? Remember that big adventure? And then as soon as he meets Dreykov in the airport, it's like, Dreykov, my man, good to see you. It's like, we talked in previous episodes, like, if you speak Hindi and you speak English, you'll meld the two and just do whatever makes more sense. You'll use idioms, you'll mix them. But is it true? And we don't really have a second language person here. Is it true that you'll just revert to like Russian accent because even though we're still speaking English, it's like is it more effort to not have the accent? I feel like once you've attained no accent status, that's what you do.
I mean, maybe no accent is actually putting on an accent. So like every time you go like Russian mode, it's kind of like putting on an accent for somebody who's trying to not. It's kind of the same thing as somebody who's trying to not have an accent.
Yeah.
They're like consciously making sure that they're making the correct sounds.
I could see how, let's say I'm speaking Russian and my tongue wants to do Russian sound things. And then if I switch to English, I might have a Russian accent on because my tongue is in that mode.
Yeah.
But these characters are just speaking English constantly. I guess it's like, hey, look, it's a movie. It's not going to have subtitles. We're not going to make a Marvel movie that's all in Russian with subtitles using American actors. That's stupid.
That'll work,
But like, am I supposed to just assume that they're actually just speaking Russian?
That's what I kind of assumed, is that it's exactly that, is that they're speaking Russian to each other, and that's just the Disney
For the
way.
audience?
Yeah, it's
but
for the
then they
audience.
actually revert to Russian sometimes. So that kind of dispels that illusion.
Yeah. It
just kind of pulls me out.
Fair enough.
Especially when Rachel Weisz is like brutal with that.
Yeah.
with that accent.
What I just found like the accent's kind of inconsistent.
Yeah.
Overall, like I was like especially Rachel. Yeah, Rachel Weisz was the worst. Although I gotta say, a hit pick for me is how Russian Ray Winstone looked the first time you see him in his like tracksuit and gold watch and gold rings and stuff. I was like, that might be the most Russian person I've ever seen, even though he's not Russian.
Young Dreykov?
Yeah, young Dreykov. Man, the de-aging in this movie is amazing. Young David Harbour, I was like, did he just like lose a bunch of weight or
Yes,
something?
actually.
But it's like I just believe.
You mean
him.
he did literally?
I looked it up on the Wikipedia, and yeah, apparently he lost like 60 pounds.
Hey, good for
over
him.
the course of they just shot that last.
Oh,
So over the course of the movie, he lost 60 pounds.
Oh, that makes sense.
And
Good
that's
for him.
yeah.
Man, that would be insane to be part of like a Marvel fitness team. I forget which movie I watched one of the actors like getting fit, and it's just like it was insane the amount of like exercise and diet.
Well, I mean, though, like if you were a multimillionaire and you were your job was to get in shape, like you'd get in shape.
That'd be so fun.
It'd be awesome.
That'd be awesome. Like all I'm gonna do today is eat turkey sandwiches and do chin ups.
Yeah, not even have to cook it for yourself.
The only stress you have is making sure that you're doing what you need to do to be healthy.
Exactly.
And, like I can totally understand what stress does to people because it does this to me.
It's hard.
So like, losing weight on your own is difficult, but if you're like focused on it and you don't have any other worries at all,
and you have a team of scientists.
you have a team of scientists.
Although I will say I have in the past done workout regimes where I needed to eat and eat and eat. So if they have to like put on 30 pounds of muscle, it gets so tired. You get so sick
like
of
7,000, 8,000
chicken and broccoli. You're just like,
That's fair.
I used to slam, those cottage cheeses that are
I love those.
that are like 750 mils, so like this big. It would do one of those a day.
Oh no! Your poops must have stank.
At first, I would do them all in one sitting because I love cottage cheese.
and then
but
you get
then I had to break it up like after work
Yeah.
and then before bed. It was a lot of cottage cheese.
In every fitness person's fridge that isn't a vegan, there's cottage cheese and Greek yogurt.
Yeah. I just did a lot of pasta. It wasn't clean. It wasn't like that clean. I was just powerlifting, so it was just like, fuck it, just whatever calories I can get.
Man.
Yeah. But the Rachel Weisz, I couldn't even tell if at the beginning she was de-aged or if they made her look older for the rest of the movie.
I think she's de-aged.
She must be.
Yeah.
Because she looks like she did in The Fountain, and that movie's 20 years old. So.
Yeah, I just found her character like the least compelling. I don't know, like I really like what they did with the pig thing where I'm like, oh, she's so fucked when she has the thing that can take the breath away from the pig.
Yeah.
And it's so twisted and like everyone doesn't want to speak because of their family dynamic, but like at one point Natasha speaks again because she's like the older sibling, and it's just like, oh, what's wrong with this? And it's like, yo, you're fucking killing this pig. What's wrong? And I mean, like we're wired to feel sympathy for animals. We like dogs more than people. And like we like cute pigs more than people too, probably.
Well, I mean, you see the pig like just trying to gasp but can't.
Oh my god!
And it's like, oh wow, this is sadistic. Like, I mean, she's like, oh, what's wrong? He could have lived for another like 12 seconds, and it's like, that's not the point.
No,
not at all.
Yeah, this is so needless suffering. Yeah, it's a weird. I felt so conflicted because it's such a good character moment in the sense that like you really understand how twisted she is,
and you're gonna believe later on that she could betray everyone.
Totally. But it's also just unpleasant to watch. I'm like, I don't want to see this pig get hurt.
She had some good comedic moments. Her limp was a little too limpy at the end. I was like, wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Definitely one of the weaker characters, but I didn't hate her.
Yeah. What do you guys think about Natasha in this movie? I thought she was like, okay, she was good.
Yeah.
I feel like the movie.
From what perspective was she okay or good? You mean like the
performance was pretty good, but I think like she didn't have.
Scarlett is like solid.
Yeah,
Like,
she's a very good actor.
a very good actor. Like you've seen Marriage Story or something.
Yeah. I just feel like I don't know. I don't know what I expected, but like it didn't feel like there was a ton of growth. And I feel like for me, like I kind of mentioned before, it's like the arc shouldn't have been, are they a family or not? It should have been like we have love for each other, but we're all so fucked up. And like she starts that way, but then the movie tries to convince me of like the more emotionalist side. And I'm like, no, Natasha was right, man. Like they all need fucking therapy, like more than each other.
Well, it's something we talked about before with iconic characters. Iconic characters being, they usually don't have arcs because you want James Bond, Indiana Jones, Luke Skywalker to be who they are every time you see them. When like Han Solo is Han Solo, I don't want him to at the end of the movie be like, you know what? I'm gonna start being a nice guy. It's like, no, he's a scoundrel. You must always be a scoundrel because that's why I like watching Han Solo. So iconic characters who are in movies, like 20 different movies in Marvel, they can't change that much.
That's fair.
So that's gonna happen. That's a casualty of these movies. However, we do get to see her deal with little issues. Like, can I figure out this one thing from my past? And I think they did a pretty good job with that.
That's fair. That is fair. I just think like that is the strength of the movie is like her dealing with the past. And I think I really enjoy all the family dynamic. It's just, it was believable, even though it's like so much more like heightened out of real life. But I don't know. I felt it.
Yeah, I didn't ever really know what the dramatic question of the movie is. Like, I even rewatched at least the first half and was like, okay, I'm actively looking now for the part where she says the theme of the movie, when she like says to another character, I don't know this about myself, or blah, blah, blah. And it like never really happens. And there's never a point where I'm like, okay, this is what they're going to do in this movie. They're going to try to solve this. Yeah. The movie kind of just like keeps falling into new stuff.
I feel like I don't know if it's the dramatic question, but like the dramatic answer is like when she's like, I used to think I had no family, but now I have two. That's like the answer, I think, for the movie, but it's not really posing that question.
Yeah, there's definitely, the answer is like, you know, like, where do I belong? Where do I come from?
Yeah.
But it's just, I think it's because of the way they set it up with, she's relaxing, gets a mysterious package, just gets attacked. Then now I'm in Budapest talking to my sister. There's just never just the way that it's set up, just, it's never posed that way. She doesn't like, you know, she doesn't leave the village to try to seek an answer.
Yeah.
She doesn't really, like, the hero's, like, the call to adventure really is just like, oh shit, I'm getting attacked. Now I'm going to go and find my sister.
Yeah. Well, I think part of it is, oh, well, you know, I don't know who my biological parents were, and I never will. But is that a problem? Kind of thing. Like, well, I have other families now. Like that's kind of, I think that is actually kind of the question and answer in a way. It's kind of roundabout. But at the same time, like at the end of the movie, when she's talking to Dreykov, and he's like, "Unknown is who your mother was," and it's it was crushing for her. But then she realizes, like, wait, no, I'm fighting for something completely different other than my family. My family I never knew. This is the family that I know, kind of thing. But at the same time, yeah, like the entire reason she starts fighting is because, oh, well, Big Bad wants this thing I have, so clearly I need to stop it.
Yeah, I mean, actually, now I'm coming around to it because, yeah, she doesn't leave the house being like, I'm going to find my sister because this is a part of me I need to deal with. She leaves because she has this mission, and she has the picture of her sister, and she's like, okay, now I have a spy reason to confront my past. And that actually makes sense for me because she does bottle stuff up. She does seem like the kind of character who's just going to be like, I'm going to forget about that part of my life.
Yeah, this is just how it is.
Fair. So it makes sense that she gets goaded into it that way.
That's fair.
And there is like a certain kind of harmony in that, like, yeah, I have my family now, the Avengers. But do you? Are they your real family? Yeah. Because right now, during Civil War, you're hiding and hanging out by yourself. So where the fuck is your family? Because the thing with family is they're your family forever. And it doesn't matter what you do. You know, they're always...
You're stuck with them.
You're stuck with them. So in this, she meets this new family who, for better or worse, are part of her past.
Yeah.
I think they do actually acknowledge that they all have problems at the end. Like they all talk about how, you know, messed up they are.
They acknowledge it. I guess they just don't go into it. It's the same with like the montage of like the sex trafficking. Like they're just like touching that theme, and I'm like, or like not sex trafficking, just human trafficking. I like that like they're willing to like play around with the idea of it, but then it's never like really brought up again. Like the Black Widows don't seem like they're clearly victims of a system meant to oppress them and like exploit them. But it's like, it's just like so surface level that it doesn't feel that satisfying.
Yeah, like you got that montage, and I actually was watching it. I'm like, wait a second. If this is a program, they're in Cuba, they're with this general, why are they suddenly in a shipping container? Like, if this is like a government program, why don't they just go in a private plane back to Red Room? What the hell are these kids? Why are they acting like they're like illegally trafficking these kids? And that's never said in the movie. I just, eventually, I came around to being like, oh, well, that's part of the training. They have to expose these kids to these atrocities. So the ones that can't handle that, they die, and the ones that can, they become super soldiers. But that's just me putting that in there.
Yeah. Well, I think one of the strengths of the movie is that it moves at a great clip where you're constantly, you're being presented with new fun stuff. So you don't really have time to think about it. Like, I didn't even think about it after the sequence. I was just like, that was cool. That was dark. And then we're doing stuff. And I think the movie has a pretty good understanding of where the audience is in terms of like mental space. And in terms of like, doing most of the setups and payoffs are pretty good. Like I really like when they're I guess they're running away from the Black Widows and then they go to the subway. I mean, how the fuck did they survive that crash into the subway? I don't know.
Oh, there's a bunch of
crazy
like she's
stuff.
invincible in car accidents.
I really like when Florence Pugh, again, very quick, goes to grab her arm and Natasha's like, don't do that yet. And then like they don't explain what's gonna happen, but all of a sudden at the end you see where Taskmaster's view and he sees the blood trail go into the sewer. And then she jumps into the sewer, but then the camera shows that they hid and like she locked her arm. I'm like, that's a perfect setup payoff, and they give the audience just enough information that it feels like rewarding to get it, but it's like,
Oh, and by the way, Natasha's been in this train station, and this is where she hung out with Clint during the Budapest thing. And there's like X and O's. Like, that's awesome.
Yeah, no, I thought that was a great little setup.
Like this movie, this is what I was alluding to in my synopsis, where it makes interactions in Endgame with Clint better.
Yeah.
And other movies where I really wish actually that I had known that this was in the part of the timeline that it is, because I didn't watch the trailer. I don't even remember seeing any trailer. I assume that this was like they're gonna de-age the shit out of her and she's gonna be playing like a 20-year-old version of herself.
Oh god, yeah. Like
I didn't know this was
origin story.
I would have watched Civil War again
and
or Winter Soldier again as well, and like kind of got in the mode. But
I think it holds up on its own though. It does a pretty good job of like bringing you in. It's not like, I don't know, with some of the worst Marvel movies where it's like they only hold up with the context of Marvel on their own. They're garbage. This is like, even if you didn't watch any other Marvel movies, it'd be fine.
Well, stuff with Ross, you're kind of like, wait, what's going on there? But
yeah, that's fair.
It doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
Like you said, the pacing is pretty quick, so it gets out of there.
Yeah.
I really like the introduction of Yelena. When we first see her, she's like this team leader on this mission. She attacks that chick. Oh, yeah. And then she, like, that fight is awesome where she drops the knife into her other hand. Yeah. Cuts her belly open. You're like, man, she's savage.
Yeah.
And then just within seconds, it's like, oh, it turns out she was under the spell. Like, we just get it so fast and it moves so quick. Yeah. And then she's willing to stick a knife in her own leg to pull that tracker out. I'm like, well, I'm sold on this character.
Yeah, I also think that that's another, like I said before, they do good little character moments for you to understand her dynamic. And I think that like that moment when she's kind of like about to lose and then drops the knife and stabs her, she's used to being on the back foot. She's used to being like the loser and using that to her advantage. And I think that was a little moment. And you're right. That whole introduction is so good. It's so succinct that like you get her. You just get it. You get her dynamic. You get her power. You get it all.
And there's other things that you don't get, but they don't matter. Like when the spell fades, and then the person she's attacking, like they're on a first name basis. Yeah, and you're like, how? Or what the hell is this mission they're on? Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Yep. And I like the stakes that it set up too. When the other Black Widow is like, oh, we're going after team leader now, and you're like, oh, it's gonna be one of these. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I went into this pretty blind. Like I wasn't super interested in it. I'm like, Black Widow's like an okay character, but I don't know. She ranks above Hawkeye for me for characters I want to see fleshed out, but not like much higher. So it's like,
I don't hate Hawkeye now as much as I used to.
It's like Jeremy Renner.
Yeah,
he's so like okay,
kind of a one face kind of guy.
Yeah, you're like, I'm like, how? I just don't want to trash talk him too much. It's not nice.
You should go on his app and send him some accolades.
He has an app?
He has one of the, there's like apps.
Oh, no.
There's like this one company, I think, that makes apps for different
celebrities.
And it's just like, imagine his Instagram page, but it's a whole app. And you just, all the other Jeremy Renner fans are on there and you guys just talk about how much you love Jeremy Renner.
Sure, why not?
I think there's like Renner bucks you can buy and shit.
Yeah.
Like Mike Clout?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Oh, boy. I can't imagine, man.
I saw a weird nitpick in this movie. She is in her trailer. There's like a shot of her waistline, like she's wearing like little shorts because she's winding down and watching James Bond in her trailer.
Oh yeah,
right. She's wearing these shorts. She's in her jammies. Then the generator dies, so she goes outside and she's like pull starting the generator. Now she's in gray sweatpants. Like okay, cool. Maybe there's mosquitoes. You put pants. You're in the woods.
Sure, yeah.
Probably wouldn't have changed at all, but maybe there's mosquitoes. Something you put these sweatpants on.
Yeah.
Then it cuts to her throwing jerry can into the back of her car and she's driving into town. And that's when she has the fight with Taskmaster.
Yep.
Now she's in her full spy gear. Like she has like black leather on and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe she's just always prepared or something like that. It's like, but 3 wardrobe changes in the stand of about 90 seconds. I was just like, okay,
yeah, that's funny. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. She's just in full gear. It would have been way more fun if she was in sweatpants.
Yeah,
she could have been wearing the gray sweatpants. Totally.
Yeah. She like rips them off and she has her spy suit under.
She didn't do anything with the spy suit, did she? I don't remember anything happening in that scene.
No, I wonder if it was just shot out of sequence and they put it together, or if it just wasn't a consideration. They just wanted to see her fight in her sweet gear. Well, I guess
I don't think it. I bet if we look back at it, it's not like her sick gear, but it's definitely like black pants and probably like a black leather jacket.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Whatever. She's just some people get ready to go to town. You know.
That's true.
Like, have you ever been at the airport and you're like, all the North Americans traveling are just wearing sweats and no makeup, and then everyone from other countries, like all the people from Italy are wearing like high heels and stuff. Like, oh, some people actually give a shit and put effort in when they leave the house. Not us.
Oh my God, man. I have a couple nitpicks too. Those fireflies, way too bright. Man, if it's the middle of the day, you can't see fireflies.
HDR, baby.
Yeah, it's one of those things that's like your brain. No, it's not that the CG looks bad. Is that your brain understands that it's not possible, and so it looks bad.
But the CG does look bad.
Yeah,
I've never seen fireflies.
really?
Yeah, like never actually seen them. I don't believe they exist in Newfoundland. If they do, I've never seen them.
Yeah.
And I don't think I've seen them here.
I don't see them here either.
Yeah, like I've never seen them, so I don't actually have a frame of reference as to whether or not that was realistic.
You can see them, but it's usually like at dusk or night, and like sunset you can kind of see them. It's just they're not like bright, but middle of the day, no, you cannot see it.
They're
Oh, I didn't
400
think
nits.
yeah.
Not even like 50. No.
The CG in general, though, there were so many moments where I was like, "That's CG." That's like, and even things that didn't have to be like this. When the first instance was when Yelena gets gassed.
Oh yeah.
Like, why couldn't that have just been a practical like boof in her face?
Yeah.
Oh, they had to have the sparkly bits.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they did more than just sparkly bits.
Yeah. For me, I think the big first CG moment that got me was when Natasha falls off the roof and hits like 10 things on her way down. It looked painful, and like I bought it on that level, but it was also like, is she like a fucking superhero or what's going on? Like she would be dead.
There's even a yoink where, like, the yoinks where usually if they did it practically, they'd have a cable attached to a harness and they go zoop and pull you backwards. Like if someone really, if the Hulk punches you, get kind of yoinked out or yanked. They did that one on the bridge with Taskmaster, but she gets yanked right off the bridge and falls like very far, right? So that was a full CG model of her, to my eye anyway. And it just looked like, why?
That one didn't bother me that much because it's so dark. Like my brain just kind of like accepted it as mush anyway. But yeah, man, that whole skydiving sequence was so dumb. It was just like your brain can't engage on any level. Like there's no grounding in any reality. You just like, it's like, this is just fucking like little CG models doing CG model things. I don't
know. I mean, part of me is like, oh, sick. Now they're going to fight while they're falling down the sky. That's cool. But that's not. I'd rather they didn't, though.
Yeah. I like when she puts the backpack on her sister. Although I was like, why don't you just put the backpack on yourself and then grab her? Like, why this setup?
Maybe she wanted to make sure that if she fell, then at least,
I guess so. Maybe she didn't have confidence in her leg power to hold on.
Or the
but then
parachute.
I guess I like also like when she gives her the parachute and then she's like, she sees Taskmaster and she has to dip herself and then they fight. That was cool. But yeah, it's just like, I don't know, CG diving where it's so clear. Like it doesn't matter how good it looks. My brain will just be like, that's not possible. This is all fake. And like, I just can't engage on that level. I don't know. It's hard. It's hard. And like, I just don't want CG in my fucking
You think,
movies.
is that at the same part of your brain or a different part of the brain that makes you go, well, you can't just smash your forehead on a table and you sever a nerve?
Yeah, that was weird. Yeah.
Especially when, I guess, like she was getting punched in the face. Am I right? Like the setup there was like, oh, she was intentionally getting punched in the face to sever the nerve.
Oh, maybe. I just, yeah, that whole thing was unnecessary. And it was also like, kind of like, I found it kind of demeaning in the sense that like, she's been a strong, independent woman for like decades now. And yet this man still gets to have control over her. Like it felt like such a like shitty moment of like,
but it would have been the opposite of that had it actually been psychological conditioning.
Yes. Yeah. And
where
she
she's
overcame.
Like, yes.
Yeah,
because that's real.
better.
You know, there's tons of like when you can't leave a relationship, you're like that you should. Like that would have been saying something.
Yeah.
But when it's just like
yeah,
my pheromones mean you can't do it.
Yeah,
you're like, damn it, you can't.
And like literally, if all it took was severing the nerve and immediately she could attack him, like just plug your nose.
Because
man.
she's overcome nothing.
Yeah.
And if the whole movie is about trauma of her past, then why shouldn't she have to overcome that in order to defeat the bad guy?
Yeah, it's like. Yeah, it's dumb. It's just a dumb addition.
You could say that, oh, well, maybe like the layperson wouldn't really get it so much. But at the same time, why would the layperson understand pheromones?
Yeah.
And why would the layperson understand severing a nerve to
I think
pheromones?
The layperson gets it because I think everybody has trauma. I think, and everybody needs to work through that shit.
Yeah, I actually missed that it was severing the nerve thing. I thought she just like fucking put enough blood in her nose that she couldn't smell anymore.
She plugs her nose. You're dead.
That's what I thought. That's what I fucking thought. Yeah. What do you guys think of that Black Widow fight sequence when like the 50 Black Widows come into the room and fight her? I thought it was pretty good. There's definitely a little bit too much of the wide shot where you can see people just like
waiting for their turn.
And it's fine. It's like they're like I think you could make the argument that
That they taught them all manners, and they're all very
and like
patient.
Dreykov said, make her suffer, and they're like, okay, we want to make her fight and like switch out and take turns to tire her out so that we can beat the fuck out of her. But I don't know. I thought like when the explosion or like I like the attaching the antidote to the flash grenade and throwing that in. I thought that was clever. But I don't know, like the sequence when it's all in slow motion, everyone's like, huh? I just found it really tacky. I don't know. I just didn't buy anything about it.
Yeah, they probably shouldn't have noticed it.
Yeah.
Like they were focused on Natasha.
Yeah.
So they should have been just like focused on that, and like somebody's like about to like punch her and the bomb goes off and they're like,
yeah, like
that probably would have been better. It would have still been kind of corny, but like
the fist lands and they're like, oh, sorry.
Like, oh my God, what did I just do?
Maybe I guess what I wanted was like for the nerve agent to like paralyze them for a second and they all like convulse. Like, I don't know, like it just seems like it's weird that they're like middle of a punch and like, huh? Like, I don't know. I wanted something to happen. I don't know. Yeah, maybe just like you faint.
That wouldn't have made the first scene of that.
That's fair.
Work.
Yeah,
like if she had fainted, then the other agent that we know her name once. I think.
Or maybe it's like painful or something. Like you scream. Like I don't know.
Shit your pants. Everybody can see it.
That's hilarious.
That's why none of them are wearing white except for the people who are already liberated.
Yeah.
We never talked about the funniest through line in this movie is her being a poser.
Yeah.
Oh,
Elena saying when Florence Pugh is like in the convenience store, like mocking her with her poses. That was hilarious.
Yeah. I love it.
What's this?
Yeah.
It's like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
You're a poser. You pose. Like you do the thing. It's like
so funny.
I like that meta aspect of it where, the Avengers exist in a world and they're on magazine covers and everyone knows who they are. And then you've got this other person who's like equally trained who sees those magazine covers. No one knows who she is. Yeah. He lives in that kind of shadow.
Yeah. I love when she drops in the vent and poses and she like gets up. She's like, oh, that was nasty.
Disgusting.
That's so good. Yeah. I actually really like that dynamic. And I think it was fun when when the helicopters crash and they're kind of confronting Alexei. And they're both like, you fucked us up so bad. Like, how could you possibly think you're a good dad? But he's like, what did you think you were successful? And he looks at Natasha and he's like, look at you. You are successful. Like, you're everything anyone could want to be. And I thought that was an interesting like, turnaround because she's so like stuck in her trauma and kind of feeling like her past is a victim. But like, she overcame and is like one of the top 10 people on the fucking planet.
It depends what your goals are. Maybe for her, she's like, it's like that Britney Spears song, Lucky.
Yeah.
Fair. Anybody else remember that?
Yeah.
Where, she'd rather just be just in some suburban home or something like that.
That's
just
fair.
like with a family.
That's fair.
She could have said that.
Yeah,
like, look at me. Yeah, this is what I am, but I never wanted this.
Yeah.
Like that could have been part of the trauma, right?
Yeah, free widow. # free widow.
Yeah.
Like free Britney, but
yeah. Back on Alexei, one thing that's cool that I'm obviously not smart enough to think of this, but heard the screenwriter talk about. He really liked how, because we hear Alexei talk about Captain America all the time, and the cool contrast between those characters is that Steve Rogers is a weak person who wants to do good, but can't, and then he is a strong person who's forced to pretend that he's weak.
Yeah,
they're actually like opposites.
Oh, that's really
way.
cool.
Yeah,
I didn't think about that. Yeah, I like that whole dynamic of him being so jealous of Captain America. It's like, does he talk about me like like we're like rivals? We're like compatriots, co-equals. Yeah.
Not really rivals, co-equals.
Yeah,
he's a contemporary of him. That's just kind of like that's hilarious actually, especially coming from a Russian character where you always wonder about different narratives, right? You're like, yeah, Americans killed the space race.
No,
like we rock, but you've got to imagine that there's just like the way that story is sold from the other angle is very different. Right?
Why do you guys think that he was put in a prison? Like, do they explain that? I kind of missed that.
I think they said that Dreykov put him there.
Does it just like keep him quiet? Because it's weird. Like, you think if you had a Russian superhero, you'd want to do the Captain America thing, where you're like, see, Russia's fucking strong. Like, it felt weird to me that they didn't like really explain why he's.
I think they explained it a little bit because they talked about like even the fact that Dreykov put him in Ohio, but I don't remember now.
Yeah, fair. But someone in the audience, tell me.
Oh, it'll be all over the comments.
You need to watch the movie again.
Yes, we do. Well, we wanted to shoot this on Monday, and now it's Thursday, so I'm sorry, everyone. I think that's about all I have.
Yeah, me too.
I like the movie. I'd recommend it. Marvel fans should definitely watch it.
Yeah.
I think it could have been better, but
a million times.
but still was like quite good.
Yep. Yeah, I think 7. It's like right in the 7 for me.
I wish it had been more tonally consistent. There's multiple tones in the movie, and I like them individually. I like the family dark comedy aspect. That was cool.
Yep.
But what was given to us in the beginning, that montage, that is what I want the whole movie to be. The Dark Knight of Marvel movies, basically.
I think that the Black Widow facility, if it had been like a more torturous facility, more about the trafficking, I think that could have brought it all kind of full circle. But because it's just like they're doing like Taekwondo with guns, it's like that's their training.
I think what I wanted is like I said, X-Men 2, where Wolverine has these flashbacks. Then they go to the facility and he sees the tank he was in, and that triggers him. I want to see that, and then he confronts the abuser.
That's fair.
That would have been all better than like, where's the Red Room? Oh, now it's in space. Never been here before. No power. This location has no power over me.
Yeah, that's true. It means literally nothing. It's a cool visual.
It should have literally been underground. Like it's a Soviet era like special unit kind of thing. They should have had it literally in an underground base in Siberia or something.
For sure.
Like it would have been cliche, but it would have made sense.
It would have made more sense.
And it would have been a lot more like emotionally weighted for the characters.
Yeah. And spookier too. And from like that whole hero's journey thing, the innermost cave. The innermost cave is where you go and deal with your deepest trauma. And that would have had harmony with that, which would have been cool. They should have taken the sets from Tenet. The end of Tenet.
Oh yeah, sure. That'd be cool.
That would have worked.
That's the only thing in Tenet I like. It's not true. It's not true.
There's lots of like.
There's lots to like.
Lots of not like too. But anyway, this isn't about Tenet.
Can we do Mission Impossible? I just want to watching this movie. Like, let's just fucking do Mission Impossible. It's so much better.
You know, I agree. I think we should do it. There's lots of fans of that franchise. We should get into that.
Yeah.
What do you guys think? Let us know in the comments.
Yeah.
Tweet at us at Carpool Critics. Email us hello@carpoolcritics.ca. Oh, by the way, this is just for super fans because no one else is listening at this point. But we are thinking about rebranding.
Oh.
We are thinking about, we've actually already thought about a new name, and I'm letting you know now it's going to happen, and we'll continue to tease it. Also, next week, we may be in our new set. Lots of changes on this podcast.
Hell yeah.
So yeah, next week, we're going to be doing Loki. It's going to hurt to spend so much time watching that, but we're going to do it, and look forward to that. More Marvel. And Riley should be back next week. And a Sarah episode upcoming, too. Lots to look forward to.
Yeah.
Thanks, Anthony.
Yeah, for real.
Hey, thanks for having me. It's actually a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Awesome.
We'll have to do it again sometime.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye.